Hi there, this is Adie here, and this video is part 2 of my 2 videos about how to get set up using Zoom for your online violin and viola lessons. Part 1 was about how to download Zoom, how to get set up with an account, all of those basics. If you need help with that, please see my other video, which was part 1 of how to get set up with Zoom. But if you already have an account or if you're a little bit familiar with it already, please continue watching this video to see Zoom in action within the context of a violin or viola lesson. So now I'm going to go over to my computer and show you guys what Zoom looks like in the context of our lessons. Hi guys, we are back on my computer now, and I wanted to first actually show you what it will look like when we get set up for lessons and I send you an invitation. So let's start with that first before we get into the call itself. So I will send to you 2 emails. One is going to be this one. This is a calendar invitation. And this one up here comes directly from Zoom, and it has all of the Zoom information about the meeting. It will have the login number and it will have a password. But let's start with this one because this is how we actually schedule the meeting. And of course, for our actual lessons, we'll work out a time that works best for us. This is just an example. But after you get this email from me, you can open it up. I use Google Calendar. They have other calendars as well. But you'll notice here, if you scroll down to where it says where, this link right here, and if you click on this link, that is how we're going to get set up with the lesson and how we're going to start the lesson. But first, before we get into the actual lesson interface, let me show you 2 more things we're going to need to get it set up. One thing you'll notice, I went ahead and clicked yes here. You probably don't need to do that, but it just lets me know that you received this email. So next, we're going to go to our calendar by clicking on View on Google Calendar. And you will see that it popped up here, and this includes this link, which is very important. It also has the meeting ID and the password. For everyone watching this video, this is just a sample meeting and a sample password. This won't do anything. This is just an example. But the important thing is going to be this link. So let's close out of this. And what I've already done, as you can see, is I have set it to be weekly on Thursday. For those of you that don't have exactly weekly lessons or every other week, something like that, it'll be different. But this is a really good example because when we're done with the lesson, I'm going to show you guys how to come back here. And if we look at next Thursday, March 26th, which is a week from today that I'm recording this right now, and you can see the lessons back. So next week, when you come back and you're ready for your lesson, you can click on this link again and it will still work. And the second thing that I want to show you guys before we get started with a sample lesson is a setting that I hope you will check. So again, this is back in the Zoom app. I'm going to go over here to this settings button. It's the little gear, and click on that. We're going to go over to where it says video, and this is particularly applicable to violin and viola lessons. It might not be important for a regular meeting, but for us, I want you guys to please uncheck this button. This button says mirror my video. By default, it's checked, but please uncheck it. Make sure that it's blank. The reason we want that to be blank is because you hold your violin or your viola on your left side and your bow on your right side, but it just looks weird, and so I hope you'll uncheck that because it'll be easier for both of us. So finally, we are ready to start our trial lesson. So I'm going to close out of this and go back to my email because that was where that link was. Or you can go to Google Calendars or wherever you have the link saved. I'm actually going to click on this one because it's really easy. It'll pop up in a browser and it'll probably ask you to open it in Zoom. So when this pops up, I'm just going to click on Open Zoom, and that will open my software, even though it's already on. So here it is. You can see that it says join with computer audio. We can test our speaker and microphone again. We did that in the last video, but you can give that a shot here as well. For me, I always like to keep my audio set up anyway, so I normally check this, but you guys don't have to if you want to just double check in advance each time. So let's click where it says join. Cool, so that's me, and I am all set up in the lesson, but since this is the student's perspective, let me go up to the teacher's perspective, and I will log into mine and show you guys what you're going to be seeing. Of course, instead of this picture of me, you will see me in real time. Hi guys, so this is what it's going to be looking like once we are set up with our lesson. Your image of you and your webcam will be right above me, kind of right in this area. So where the picture of me currently is, that's actually going to be you. And I will be able to see you on my screen just like you're able to see me on your screen. Zoom is actually really neat. It's got a lot of different features. For example, we can see everybody in the room. So here is Manage Participants. We can see that both of us are in the room. In this case, it's my sample account and my real account. We also have Share Screen. This is actually a really neat one because you can not only share your exact screen that you're seeing, but you can also do like a whiteboard. I haven't used this one because I don't have an iPhone or an iPad. They also have a lot of advanced features, but this whiteboard's a really interesting one. You can draw pictures if I want you to draw something for lessons. For violin, we won't do this a whole lot because it's mostly playing, but say I ask you to draw a little treble clef, and you can just about do that. And things like little stamps, we can put a little heart. So we have C, F sharp, heart, C sharp, G sharp, kind of. But we can use this for lessons if we want to. It's just kind of a cool feature. So I can save that one, I can clear it, all kinds of other things you can do that are neat, but we don't need to get into those. So now I'm going to click where it says stop sharing because we want to go back to our regular lesson. There we go. And there is also a chat feature. If I can't hear you for some reason, if your microphone's not working, or if something weird goes on, you could open the chat. It'll pop up kind of on the right side. And then that will pop up for me on my screen. So that's kind of neat. Again, I don't know if we'll use that feature a lot, but it's nice to know that it's there. So I'm going to close it. I'm going to click this little drop-down arrow here and click Close. So now what I have here is, you can see I have my violin because I want to show you guys the type of sound quality that we'll probably be able to expect from Zoom. So here is my violin. Also, as far as sound quality and video quality, for us the first couple of lessons might be a bit of experimenting. I have two really bright lights on me right now so that you can see me. I also have a window over to my right. You can see that that's my right because we turned off the mirror. If we had the mirror on, this would look really weird, but it should look good. Let me play for you a little bit on the violin so you can see what the sound quality is going to be like. That's kind of a nice sound. Another thing that Zoom does that's really handy is it will kind of limit the volume. So for example, violins and violas are much louder than our normal speaking voices, but Zoom can account for this really well. So when you start playing, it'll make the volume a little bit softer so that it's not super loud to me, and so that I'm not super loud to you, comparison to my normal voice. And that's pretty much it, and we'll have our regular lesson just as we would in person. I will ask you to have a music stand on hand. I might send to you pieces to try, or hopefully you'll have some things already. Anyway, just the things that we normally do for lessons, we'll keep doing just with a bit more of a digital component. So when we're all done, we go ahead and close the window of the Zoom, and it will ask us if we want to leave the lesson, which at the end of the lesson we'll be ready for. I don't know if you can quite see this. I think my recording software is cutting off the little X in the corner, but if you can see the little X, you can just click that, close the window, and it will ask you end meeting for all or leave meeting. Just end for all because it'll just be us in there. If you are maybe a student and maybe your parent wants to see, or vice versa, if for some reason it's convenient for you guys to have two computers set up, you're welcome to. Just we can clarify that in advance if we need to add any more participants to the lesson, but by default it'll just be the two of us, so definitely feel free to click where it says end meeting for all. So I hope that was helpful again in getting set up with Zoom. We're back to our home page here. We can see our next lesson is scheduled on next Thursday. And that's really all you guys need to know. So again, I hope this was helpful. I hope you have an easy time getting this set up, and please don't hesitate to ask me any questions about our lessons. I hope you have a really great rest of your week, and I'm looking forward to working with all of you online. Bye!